Hi guys, thanks for joining me. This little sort of tutorial slash how-to is for our birdie masks, and what I'm going to do in this tutorial is I'm not going to necessarily take you through each step of creating the actual bird, because there is a video on our channel which is called the round robin, and that's using exactly the same template. So I'll pop a little link somewhere for that video, and then you can refer to that to actually filling the basic template. So what we're going to focus on in this tutorial are the actual masks themselves. So all of these masks are designed to fit with the Basic Birdie template, and as I just mentioned, this originally launched as the robin template. So if you purchased the robin template or the round robin kit combo or the trio of robin kit, then you will already have this template. So it's exactly the same template. And then all of these masks have been designed to fit with these templates. This one, for example, is the blue tip mask, and as you can see, they fit inside. So what we're going to do in this tutorial is I'm going to go through each individual sort of bird variation that we have and show you how to combine the fibres, what colours go where. There is also a PDF which takes you through each one of the birds, so we will touch on those during the tutorial as well. And we will hop straight in and start making our basic birdie. So the next one that I'm going to run through is the Goldfinch, and you can see that the mask for this one is it's a bit weird. And as I mentioned previously, refer to the round robin tutorial, and I'll put a link somewhere in the description down there for that tutorial, because that will show you how to fill the Basic Birdie template, although in that tutorial I refer to it as the robin template, but it has thus been renamed. So the base colour for the Goldfinch is sand, and once again you get your PDF for the template with your weights and measures on it, and then you get your Goldfinch Mask specific page as well. So you've got your base layer, which is sand, and then we've got accent colours, which are black, white, bright red and yellow. If you have the previous version of this PDF, over here it will say storm. Ignore it, it was wrong. The sort of side effects of copying and pasting. So storm is not in this one, it is just the black, white, bright red and yellow. And as demonstrated in the blue tit tutorial, what we're going to do is you make your base layer and then you pop in your mask. You then use your PDF, and that will show you which colours go where. So we've got this sort of big section here, and here's one of our birdies. So this section here is white. There's no real weights and measures, but what you're going to do is pull off little tufts of fibre and just get yourself an even covering around in that section. Now some sections like this will be big open voids in the mask, which you can colour in with the template in situ, and then other times, like this section around here, that colour is all black, so you would remove the template after putting in some guidelines here, and then colour in with the template with the mask out of the template. So first barb on the needle, we're not driving through, and all we're going to do is keep pulling off little bits. Just pull those fibres back into that sort of void. There. Scratch those fibres back up and get that right up into the corner. There we go. So I'll pull that out, and you can see that you get that shape perfectly. And then when you flip it over, if you are doing, you know, a double-sided birdie, then it will make sure that you get matching pieces on both sides. So I'm not going to go and colour this in any more than this, but obviously to make it more opaque, you'll just lay down some more white fibre and just colour it in until you're happy with it. Do bear in mind that obviously the more fibre that you lay down, the thicker it will get, so be a little economical with your fluff, and just sort of backfill as needed. So a little bit of a wiggle on the mat. There we go. And then we're going to move to our next colour. So let's pop that back down in there. And then we've got this void here, which will be this stripe. So that's black. So just stack my fibres there. Just get it all in. Again, first barb on the needle. Really light felting. I'm using my 40 spiral. It's hardly anything to it. And that way, if you decide that you don't, you know, it's not quite right, you can always just pick it off. So that's the next bit. Then pop it back in again. This part here, again, that's the white bit. So we grab some more white. Lay those down. And you'll spend a lot more time on this. I'm doing it for speed, but up into the top, and then all over. So again, you'll put down a little more fibre than I am as well. I'm not making mine terribly opaque, but this is more, you know, sort of mask technique than actual colouring in. So there's that bit. So what we have now is we've got, this is black up here, this is black down here. So I'm going to grab some more black. So I've removed the mask now, but I'm going to use the line of this white and just run a nice line of black next to it and up to the top, and then back around the side of the template. Pinch myself out a little more to colour it in. And using the edge of the template. like so. And we do most of the work in the template and then we take it out. Whoop, my mat's gone on a bit of a wonky angle. There. So this bit all in here is sand, and then we've got our red bits and this sort of black bit up here to do. So I'm going to do this crown bit, and to do that we've got this line here which just gives us, because the black doesn't come all the way over here, it just comes in this bit, so this edge gives us the line. So a little bit of fibre again, and because I want a nice straight line I'm going to roll that, and just keeping right on this edge. There. Take that out all the way up to the top, and that puts in that line, and then the black comes all the way round and stops here. So another teeny tiny little bit just on there to give that point where that black's going to stop, and then take that all the way over to the right and the left so it meets the white. There, and then I'm just going to again pull off a little bit, start and follow it round on that white, and then I'm going to backfill and colour in. And I've barely used more than the first barb on the needle. We haven't used much at all. We're not driving through, particularly if this is going to be a double-sided birdie, because if you are, you know, if you're driving through, you're going to push all of these fibres out the bottom, and if you've already decorated on this side, it's really going to be pushing the colours through. So all we're doing is that first barb, a little bit more of the black, there we go. And again, I've not really given this a good coverage because I'm doing this for speed, but so what we're going to do now is we're going to put down the red. So you can see on here that this guy pretty much goes right back to meet the white. So what I'm going to do is just add in a little bit more as a tiny little bridge, because this is where the eye is going. There. And then I think this needs to come over a little further this way as well. So just another small pinch. I just need to bring that over to where his beak is. There. And if you do have any long sort of loose ends and fibres and things, you know, you can use a little pair of snippy scissors. And just take them off. There. Okay, so I've got my eye, which goes in this void here, and then we need to add in some red here and some red there. So this is our bright red colour. And whilst I just noticed, but we need to take this down to the end as well. Give ourselves that nice line right down to the edge. There will be sort of little bits in the template like this, where obviously I go as close as I can to the edge of the template, but I can't go all of the way, so you just have to bridge that gap with a little bit of fibre when you remove the mask. So now I'm going to pop down the red, so in there, and again what I'm doing is I'm just following that line of the other two colours that I've got down. First barb, nice short little stabs. See, I've got quite a lot of fibre there, so I'm just going to take that right up, but I've got all of this sort of tuft. So what I'm going to do is take my little snippy scissors and I'm just going to chop that off and then felt those ends down in. There we go. And then again up here, so we're leaving the beak. And I'm just going to lay those fibres around that black area, take them off over to the edge. Oops. I'm going to leave the sort of the little void for the eye here. And then take that up to the black. There we go. So that's most of the colours down. Like so. And then I'm going to put in his eyeball. And to do this, what I'm going to do is, actually I'm going to put the black down first. Make sure there's no knots. So I've got a little bit of fluff, and there's no weight to this. This is probably 0.05, so weigh out 0.1 of a gram, and then rough that in half, and you may need to halve it again. That's my best guess at the moment, but I'm loosely rolling a ball that's around this kind of size. I'm going to drop that down in there, and then I'm just going to go round the edge and just make that into a nice circle. Then what we're going to do is get a bit of this white, and again tiny bit, and roll it so that we've got a really nice thin line. And let me zoom in a bit. So I'm going to anchor it, and as I'm felting round, what I'm going to do is twist, and that twist helps you get a really nice clean line. So just twist those fibres. And that will give you a good sharp line. I've got a bit much there, so I'm just going to nip those off a little bit and then take those fibres round. And yeah, that sort of twisting on the fibres will help you get a very, very nice crisp line there. Okay, the last thing to do with this little guy is give him his tail spot. So I'm going to grab my mask again, pop that down, and you've got your little tail spot there. So a little bit of fluff down, and just go round and round and round. First barb all over, keep going round and round and round that edge. Just going to bring that in a little bit to get a degree of separation from there. So the other thing to cover are edges. I actually probably wouldn't have put that spot on until I've done the edges. So let me just, I'm going to make a right mess of this now. There we go. I will very quickly, in fact I'll use this to demonstrate the edge technique. So assuming that you didn't just put your tail spot on like what I did, what you will find is that obviously when you're laying all of the fibres down in your template, that your edges will remain the same colour as your base, or the base layer that you put down. Let me just get this back into some semblance of order, like so. So what you will have is you'll have the colour that you've just put down, and then you've got this sort of that base layer of birdie that will show through. Now, in order to do, whether you're doing a single-sided birdie or you're doing a double-sided birdie, do take care of your edges, because whether or not you're putting it on a card or anything like that, these edges will be visible. So in order to get a very nice edge, what we do, and I'll use this bit for an example, grab yourself a bit of fluff and attach it along the edge, like so. Then turn your birdie over and push it down into the template, and that brings all of that fluff up around that edge, and then you felt it very, very lightly again. First barb, tiny little stabs, like so. And if you're doing a double-sided birdie, I would probably say put your edges in before you do your flip side, but you find, whatever way works for you. And then you can see, all right, this isn't very firmly felted, but you can see that now my edge has a solid block of colour. But always push, you know, attach your fibres on your side and then push it down into the template on the other side, and that will force all of the fibres up and round. So there's our goldfinch. Then put the spots on at the end. And his wing, again, so apologies for the camera change there. I lost my wing. It was all the way over there, I couldn't find it. So when you come to do the wing, obviously you've got sand, black, we've got yellow, and then black back here, and then we've got the white spots. And so I'm just going to pop my mask down in my template. I'm going to put a little bit of, let's start with the black, I think. Get a little bit of the black, just roll it, light needle again. Going to run that in there and up there just to give that edge so we know where we're working. And then this bit down here is yellow, so I'm going to take a little bit of yellow. And I'm going to come from that black along and then down. And that bit at the back or at the front of the wing there, that's black, and then up here is sand. So we need a tiny, I'm going to fold those fibres in half and just put a little hint of black right there. And there's our guides. I'm going to join that one up. And now we're back to, you know, that sort of colouring in again. So pop in the edge. Same technique. First barb on the needle. I'm going to do this very quick and crude, but it's just to give you the idea. And these birdies, they're so versatile. I think I've got some over there that are on some sort of little bunting, and they look really sweet. So that's the yellow. Now I'm going to come in with the black. So I'll do this front part first, round my edge to where we meet up with that yellow. And then nice felt down all over that area. And again, although I'm not going to do it here, you know, put in that, you know, put in your edges, so go around the edges like what you do on the body. So now the tail, or the tip of the wing. Nice light needle and colour in. There we go. That's getting there. and then just where you need to, you know, where you see the extra sort of sand coming through, just go and backfill, colour in a little bit more. I've used a single needle and I haven't changed from my 40 spiral. You can obviously use a multi-needle, but again, just that first barb. It's very quick and crude, it's still fuzzy. I need to put in the edges, but that's the wing layout. Finally, let me just felt this down a little bit more. I'm going to use my clattering tool, and I'm just going to bounce. So when you feel the denseness of the mat, you stop. Pop that in so it doesn't distort too much, and just go around these bits. And all this is doing is just compacting down those fibres. Now I would have coloured it in a little bit heavier, but I'm doing this for speed at the moment. And then you'd add on your fibres, loop it over the edge, put it back in the template and felt down on the other side. But I'm not going to do that right now. I'm going to show you these little spots. So pop your mask back in, grab the tiniest bit of white, roll loosely, but just roll it up, and then go round and round and round and round and round. Again, just that tiny tip of the needle. And you can see you get a very nice little spot. So I'll do one more of those. So again, tiniest bit of fluff. Roll it up loosely. Very loosely. Pop the mask down. Round and round and round. And there you have your next spot. So obviously add the spot on the tail, spots on the wing, and then when you go to add the wing, you're just going to go round that edge and just connect it. Again, check the robin tutorial for all of that sort of information, because I don't need to duplicate it here. This is more about the using the masks. So that's the goldfinch. There's a better one. So there's the goldfinch. Such a pretty bird. Had a few in the garden the other day, and it was just glorious seeing them doing about. So you can put in a little line on his beak if you want. You know, use that same twisting technique. If you want to do anything that's like a real nice sharp line, then do that. And again, you know, you can do them double-sided, you can do them single-sided. There we go. So that's the bullfinch, and so next we will go on, I think, and do the wren. Here are some what we put on, sort of some little Hessian bunting, and you know, there's your bullfinch, there's your wren, there's your little blue tit there, there's your goldfinch, and you know, there's a little blackbird as well. I mean, obviously there's no mask for him, he's all black. So it's just, again, same eye technique, but then you're just putting, I think this is our marigold colour, and you know, just putting a little circle of marigold around the eye, giving him a little bit of a beak and that light dot, and you've got yourself a blackbird as well. So I'll pop a few more pictures up on screen as well. I do hope that you have enjoyed the video. Do give the video a thumbs up and do subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you hit that little bell icon, that'll tell you when we upload new videos. So that's the Basic Birdie. Please do come and share your makes with us over in our Facebook group. That's www.facebook.com/groups/mumsmakery. So that's it from me and the Basic Birdie. I hope you have enjoyed it. Thank you so much for spending your time with me, and I wish you all a very crafty day.